So how about this story? An Oregon sheriff now saying that he will not enforce President Obama's new gun control recommendations. And turns out he's not alone out there. At least 10 states now say that they're considering taking some sort of legislative action against the federal government. Those states span the nation, from Oregon all the way to South Carolina. Many sheriffs are now calling for action, like Linn County, Oregon Sheriff Tim Muller. Sheriff, welcome. Good to have you here today.
Good morning, Martha.
Talk to me a little bit about your process of thinking this through. You know, when you started to hear about these executive orders coming down from the president, you know, what kind of action did you take? What became your plan, and how do you back up your ability to carry that out?
Well, how it first started was I had a lot of folks in my county asking myself and my deputies, you know, what my position was on if any what they termed far-reaching or overreaching gun control laws were established from the feds. And yeah, I made my position known. I tell my deputies that you know, I didn't support anything, any regulations that would infringe upon the constitutional rights of our citizens. And more questions came out as far as you know, what my position was. I didn't see really a lot of information coming out of the committee that Vice President Biden was sitting on, and so I just wanted to reach out to my own citizens in my county and let them know what my position was. And while I was working on doing that, I thought, well, you know, he's the chairman of the committee, and I didn't really see a lot of you know, Western sheriffs out being asked on what we thought, and specifically, you know, Pacific Northwest, right, where we're from here. And so I decided I'd send him a letter and just let him know what my position was here in Linn County, Oregon, and try to be as respectful as possible and still keep my get my point made. And didn't really expect the attention that it got. I figured I might get some local attention. I tried to reach out through our local newspaper, and then we put it on our the copy of the letter that I wrote on our sheriff's office Facebook page, and that's the
way things go now. Everything it's like wildfire. So what's your understanding of your jurisdiction, and you know, sort of what you are allowed to do under the law and what you are not beholden to in terms of these federal regulations?
Well, you know, I'm not so sure it's what I said, but how I said it in that letter. You know, we don't enforce federal law anyway. That's we're not required to do it. We're actually prohibited from doing it in most cases. And you know, a good example is federal immigration law. You know, we're prohibited from enforcing that. Right. And I don't think it's reasonable for anyone to think I'm going to enforce federal gun laws in my county.
You know, I guess one question, you know, for you would be, if something were to happen in your community and it looked like one of these laws or changes might have prevented that person from having access to a firearm, well, how would you deal with that?
If it's a, yeah, we're just, the Linn County Sheriff's Office, myself and my deputies, we have the position that we're not going to enforce that law. It's a federal law. You know, if it comes down as a state law, then we'll have to revisit that. But we won't enforce federal regulations or federal laws. We're not required to. There's a separation of powers, and we won't.
All right. Sheriff, thank you. Getting a lot of attention, and a lot of folks are getting on board with you. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right.